There we go. All right, this will be the regular call meeting of the Manchester Planning Commission. I see we have two members absent today. Dr. Swanson's out of town, and Mr. Goodwin is ill, so he cannot be here. I see everyone else is present. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from our August 18th meeting. Those were sent out ahead of time. If everyone had a chance to review them. If not, are there any changes, corrections? If not, we need a motion to approve.
We'll make a motion.
Okay,
Second.
all right, motion and second. Any other discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Mr. Johnson. All right, next item is approval of the agenda. We have the agenda here. Are there any changes? If not, we'll need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
A second.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, agenda's approved. Next is our time for comments from citizens. If there's any citizens in the audience who wish to comment on any of the items that are scheduled on the agenda for business tonight, we'd be happy to hear you. If there's two items that are here for a public hearing, one for a land use plan amendment and one for acceptance of plan of service for some property on Old Tullahoma Highway. If you're here to talk about that, I'll call you at the public hearing portion of the meeting. But if there's anybody else that has any other comments on any other items, just raise your hand and let us know. Okay? Anybody? All right, seeing none, we'll move on into business. First item is site plan, 800 Park Street for Manchester City School Board, zoned C5. Anybody here on that one? Come on forward, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Joe Haddix, Heritage Civil, on behalf of the school system. As before you, we were showing approximately 6,000 square foot building addition to the existing site there on Parks. The addition of several parking spaces to help bring the building into compliance with code. This is desperately needed for the administration. Being told there'd probably be 18 to 20 employees there on a daily basis. So the additional parking we're showing is for board meetings and events. Thank you to Brittany, she's been great helping us through this process. So can answer any questions or comments y'all may have. We do have a variance request, at least one, we have two. The existing building is shown approximately 4.8, almost 5 feet over the front setback line. Best I can tell, the site was platted in 2003 and that building was there at that time. So we're asking a variance just to align the front facades there. And then also along Parks, you'll see that we are showing 4 parallel parking spaces. That's just in an effort to maximize the amount of parking we can get on the site. Which means in this case, we would be asking for a variance to the 10-foot landscape buffer across the frontage. So we'd appreciate your consideration of those two items. And again, thank you for your time.
Okay, and have you already requested a variance on the?
It's not on the agenda, it'll be an item at a later time,
Okay.
because I have to advertise variances and things.
Okay. All right, Brittany, have you got comments? Or Adam, do you want to talk us through them? Or?
So comment number one is regarding the stormwater quality stuff, just to provide the design criteria used for the extended detention pond. Most of the time, since we don't have our own standards here in Manchester, most of the time what we see is people using Nashville, Chattanooga, or that type of thing, their design standards. So if you can just submit what standards was used for that so that we can compare and make sure that it was designed in accordance with those standards. The drive aisle along the north side, right there between the 4 and the 5. So it was widened to 16 feet in accordance with the the zoning ordinance, but that's generally intended for a one-way drive aisle. So if that could be changed to one-way, that would be pretty tight.
Yeah, we could add some directional arrows.
Yeah, so if you can put up signage, and some arrows, and then, I guess this is, Brittany, last comment would be you on the fire marshal's letter.
Okay. With it being, dealing with the school system, item number 5, with it dealing with the school system, a lot of times the state fire marshal's office will have to review those. Typically, if it's dealing with the school system, and it's sprinkled. So I just asked that they provide that letter of non-review with the state fire marshal's office stating that it's not required that it be sprinkled. We've already talked about the 10-foot landscape buffer. The owner is requesting a waiver on this item. I think that the planning commission can grant a waiver on the landscape buffer, but I do think that a variance is required for encroaching on the setback even further than what they already are. Not necessarily any further, but to increase the noncompliance rather. So I think a variance is the answer there, and a waiver is more of an answer for the landscape buffer. And then, yeah, so those are those items.
Okay, otherwise, they've met all the requirements and you're recommending approval?
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I had a question, I was glad you answered about the waiver versus the variance on the landscape buffers, so. Does anybody have any questions for,
Let me make sure I understand, there's a landscape buffer that's required between the street and the front of the building? Is that, we require that? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, on commercial properties along the right-of-way line, there's to be a 10-foot landscape buffer on the property.
How much do they have?
None.
None, right here.
So it's
Specifically
the
where
property,
the-
it's on their side of the property line. I got you.
So they're meeting it right here and right here. But just where these parking spaces are.
might just orient everyone to what's on that north side of that
Yeah.
north property line.
It's residential, I believe.
Right, so this is Park Street.
But it's the street, but it's the road.
Yes.
So, yeah.
A sidewalk.
There's no room for a sidewalk there if there ever worked on a big one.
There's not currently a sidewalk, and I mean, there would maybe be room for one, but it would include a significant.
But there would still be a grass,
It would have to be put in the right-of-way rather than actually on the property.
because you've got space, green space, that'll be grass between the property line and the edge of the pavement.
Yes, sir.
Correct, yeah. About how much is that, do you think?
Just looking at it, it looks to be probably in excess of 10 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the existing building, that was old health department,
Yes, sir.
has always been there. Does it have any current landscape buffer on that edge over there or not?
So currently, this is all grass.
Yeah. I guess my point is, there's nothing that's being taken away. It's not like there's already a bunch of shrubs or trees or anything. It's just grass between the building and the road.
Right, we consider
Yeah,
grass
yeah.
a form
Yeah.
of landscape, essentially.
Okay, any other questions for the presenter or for Adam or Brittany?
I have a comment. And I just want to explain. Look, I'm going to say this is okay and be all right with this tonight, but I'm not all right with this because there's no item in the school budget or the city budget to spend any money on capital outlay. So I don't know where they're going to get the money to pay for this, so don't get too deep in, okay? You might tell them that we're going to put this on the October board, mayor, and alderman meeting, and just let them know. I'm not happy with the way this was done, And this is listen, I lectured two aldermen the other day about how this committee was not supposed to be political. And I'm not gonna make it political, because I'm gonna vote the way I should on this. But I'm gonna tell you, the reason I'm voting this way here and another way on the BOMA is that, so. Okay.
Yeah, we're not here to make
No,
political budgeting
no, we're not. No,
decisions.
sir, we're not.
There you go, that's what,
Who's here to decide on what's
Yeah.
presented to this board?
that's right,
Yeah.
that's right. Use the smart side of your brain in here.
Yeah.
Appreciate that,
That's the
yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
I do respect that comment though from you, Mark. I appreciate you making that.
Make a motion to approve.
Subject to the punch list? Okay,
I'll second.
all right, we've got a motion and a second to approve, subject to the punch list. Now, and that includes granting
Waiver.
the waiver on the landscape buffer?
But not item 4, the variance, right?
Right, not item 4 would remain, but,
Well, it states that a variance is needed.
yeah. Is that correct, Mayor?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure everybody's clear on what they're voting on. So anyway, all right, is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
very good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
All right. Item number 2 is a site plan on McLean Street, map 76, Group H, parcel 18.01 for Scott and Tracy St. John in a C1 zone. I see Mr. St. John present. Like to tell us what you're doing here?
Sure, yes, so this is some property that probably 20 years ago I split off of the Eric Birch Law Office property so that him held on to this out parcel for many years and really didn't do anything with it, but I've got a person interested in building a commercial building on it, and it, we're trying to maximize on the site, so we are providing the separation from the neighbor on the left side there, and working with him on some infrastructure that he kind of put over the line slightly, then, so we put a green strip down that side to accommodate both parties. And then on the right side, to meet the zero setback, the soffits and footings will fall right on the property line. But that is that right side. Some green space on the rear, ramp on the front, but we're, abutting to and leaving the public sidewalk on the front. So again, this would be at the back side of Baker Brothers Drugs, adjacent to the healthcare on the one side, yes.
That A+, is that?
A+, that's it, yes.
Okay. Brittany, have you all had a chance to review the site plan?
Yes, our only punch list items are to coordinate with Manchester Water Sewer Department on available sewer capacity to serve the development. And he did not submit architectural elevations of the proposed structure. That is a requirement for a site plan. With this property being within the historic district, it will also have to go before the Historic Zoning Commission. So if you all would like, we can have him submit it and bring it back before you guys. Or we could, if you all wanted to address the Historic Zoning Commission with those architectural elevations, we could also do that. We do have a planning commission member sitting on the Historic Zoning Commission. So that helps.
It is.
But the other punch list item is to provide those elevation drawings.
And if I could add one thing, of course, I'm perfectly fine with bringing it back through for planning commission approval, but I guess my interpretation of the code was that the criteria that y'all are all used to on commercial, the brick, the stone, the glass, those requirements are not applicable because it's in the historical zoning district and it's up to them to enforce their requirements. So, we were going to take it through historical zoning commission, meet their requirements. The buyer is wanting to do all brick, but again, I'm perfectly fine for bringing it back by if you want to allow staff to review it, then all the better.
Okay. Anybody have any comments or questions for Mr. St. John or for Brittany or Adam?
This is behind Eric Birch's office.
So Eric Burge's office, yeah, be the back of his office would be on the side of that property.
There's a garage
Yeah.
there or something.
Maybe 1801.
There's you, okay.
Yeah, so that'd be that.
All right,
piece,
okay, I got it, I got it.
So he will be touching this property line.
That's A plus
It'll be
medical
some
beside
green
it.
space
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Okay.
It is proposed to be a two-story building, so it will be taller than this building. Will abut this property, which is the antique store
Yeah.
behind my building.
There's your place. Let's
Your
say
office
that.
too, right?
Is there a reason to have them bring it back to us?
No, I just wanted to throw that out as an option. You all can entrust me with that review and ensure that it meets that criteria. You can entrust the Historic Zoning Commission.
Sure.
Well, I mean, so would it be
Zero lot
more,
line, zero setback over there.
would it be more appropriate on the, well, maybe it's not on this one then, maybe that's just an automatic requirement. I was gonna say would be for the punch list item to be obtain approval of Historic Zoning Commission for their
How do you
Right.
get in your extra property?
I mean, those
architectural
architectural,
elevations.
Elevation, they'll go,
You gotta
that'll
go
be
to
what
a
will
opinion
go
or
before the
fix the
Historic Zoning Commission.
I got you, I got you. That's a good question. Would an easement be required in case they wanted to work on that wall, paint that wall sometime later on Eric's property?
How do you maintain a zero lot line wall? I mean, or-
That's what's allowed in the C1 district. Would they need an easement?
Good neighbors.
Yeah.
Good neighbors, okay.
He's an attorney.
No, I'm not aware of a requirement for an easement to maintain the property. This district was mainly set up, I believe, for, like what's around the square, where the
Sure.
buildings actually touch. But-
Almost party walls between them.
Right.
Yeah.
No murals.
Not there.
Mhm.
Can't see it.
There's guidelines for those too.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
I make a motion to approve, subject to the punch list.
Second.
Well, and now, when we say subject to the punch list, when it says provide architectural elevation views of the proposed structure to this board, should we change that to be obtain approval of the Historic Zoning Commission for the architectural elevations?
You can.
You
Would
just
that
have
be-
to defer it to them.
Right. Is that,
Fine.
okay, that's your motion?
And I second.
You're good, second? Okay. Got that, Grace? Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That passes. We get next again. Item number 3 is construction plans for Walnut Grove subdivision Phase 3 on Country Club Drive for Scott and Tracy St. John, zoned R4.
So this is the property back in the spring. I brought a preliminary plat through. This is the property that we annexed in 2020. Built one house on the front phase, kind of held this off for a future retirement project and just trying to get these construction plans through at this point. Not sure what my timing will be from here, but hopefully within a few years it would happen. But preliminary plats through, we built the sewer, a lot of the sewer infrastructure as a part of the Phase 1. Water stub outs, fire hydrants, number of those items that would accommodate this phase two, we addressed in the phase one. So we'll have stormwater detention in the rear, sidewalks, trying to meet all the criteria. I guess we brought this in 2 months ago. We wanted to work hard to address all the comments before we brought it back through, and I think we have done that.
Okay. Brittany, I don't see many comments other than coordinating with Manchester Water and Sewer.
That's correct. They managed to address all the punch list items that we had along the way. Yeah, they provided sidewalks on one side of the street throughout. Sewer is discharging to a 4-inch flow main along Country Club. It will go down to 41. Water lines are provided throughout the subdivision. Stormwater detention is provided. Water quality measures have been met. I have all of those calculations submitted and approved. I did have Dana, my stormwater program coordinator, review those as well, and she did not find any discrepancies with what was submitted. And the traffic study was previously provided at preliminary plat submittal. All items of concern have been met.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. St. John?
I have a couple. Scott, it looks like, I know this is an R4, but it looks like these lots are bigger than 5,000 square
Oh,
feet.
yes, they are. It's really meeting in R2.
How wide generally are they? Are they
75.
Now, since it's R4 and they're 75 feet wide, are you gonna use R4 setbacks? Or are you gonna, what are you gonna do there?
Yeah, the setbacks that are applying for that district is what we have set on this interior phase two. So.
So it's 20-foot front setback, 15-foot, 15-foot rear, 5-foot sides.
I will say on the phase one, I set a more strict, more stringent setback that I was adhering to personally on the houses that I built and what I put on the plat, hold them off of roadway, off of Country Club Drive. But yeah, this is the R4 setbacks.
Okay. And the lots are bigger than 5,000 square feet, right?
Yes, yeah, they would, can't remember the minimum square footage on one, but yeah, they're pretty much in line with an R2
So
size.
like in the 10,000, 9,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you have another one?
No, no.
Oh, okay, I thought you said a couple of questions. I
sorry.
wanted to make sure it's.
That was probably 2 in there somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Which I guess is one of the thoughts we've heard in the past too, not that it just, in an R4 zone, people can still make it, doesn't have to go all the way down to
No,
the
about that,
highest
yeah.
density on a R4. They can keep it as a lower density too, so. Okay, any other questions, comments?
Just a
Staff?
comment, I don't know that it matters, but we approved the agenda with phase 3, but the sheet says phase 2, and I think I heard Mr. St. John say 2. So do we need to revise the agenda and go back and do anything about that? Is it 2 or 3?
Phase two.
So. I
But
think
it's
the
this
reason-
whole drawing, right?
I think the reason that it says phase 3 is because Scott has come through with 2 different final
Okay.
plats for these 10, is it 10 or 9?
Yeah, it's
These
9
lots along, the
remaining.
lots along Country Club, he's come through with a couple of different final plats. So I think he final platted 1 or 2 of them, and then he came back with another final plat for a few of them. So that is the reason it's referred to as phase 3. As far as I know, but as far
On
as
the
the
agenda.
construction plans aspect of it, it is phase 2 of the construction plan.
Yeah, I think we titled the phase 1 final plats, like phase 1, section 1, phase 1, section 2. And then this has been called phase two, but however you want to sign the
Is there
nomenclature.
another phase after this?
No.
Can we just call it final?
Final base.
So the agenda's correct, let's say,
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say
and
the
then,
agenda.
and the title of the page is wrong.
Correct, because he
Right.
submitted construction plans
Gotcha.
for all of this, and then he came back and he submitted construction plans for detention that we had him do. That would have been phase two, and this would be phase three.
It's
So
the
just
third
the-
set of construction plans.
It is the third set of construction plans that have been reviewed, so the recommendation sheet could be changed to phase three.
Gotcha.
Okay. Anything else? Staff's recommending approval, subject to the one punch list item.
I'll make a motion to approve, subject to the punch list.
Second.
Okay? Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay?
Thank you.
Very good, thank you. All right, next up is item number 4, is a public hearing for a land use plan amendment, 1674 and 1708 Old Tullahoma Highway for James and Pamela Massengill. It's in the UGB, zoned RS1. You wanna, yeah, Brittany, you wanna, orient us? and-
Yeah, let me fly around the map just a minute. Get where we need to go. So, as you know, on the agenda, we have 3 items, all for the same property. One of which is an annexation zoning for 2 parcels owned by Mr. Massengill. It is these 2 parcels right here that are more or less adjacent to Smyrna Ready Mix. They are vacant. There is a detached garage type structure on one of them. However, they requested the zoning of R4, and our land use plan actually shows that area as high-density mobile home use rather than high-density residential, which obviously a mobile home is residential, but they have different zoning requirements that go with those uses. So by the land use plan, this is intended for a high-density mobile home. That is not the intended use that was requested for the annexation, so that requires a land use amendment. The amendment would change it from the purple high-density mobile home to the orange, just high-density residential.
Cross the road.
That's R3 across the road. Let me turn the zoning off. So it would change it to this like golden orange color. The zone that would go with high-density mobile home would be R5, which we actually don't have anything currently zoned R5 in the city limits, but that was created about the same time we started on the land use plan, the newer land use plan. So it was required if we wanted to move forward with that. I did advertise it in the newspaper 30 days prior. After, if you all send it with a positive or negative recommendation to the board, it also has to be advertised, but it does have to go before the board because both the planning commission and the board of mayor and aldermen adopted the land use plan.
That's in the UGB, right?
It is in the UGB.
So some of our next items, it looks like, are gonna be acceptance of plan of services and,
Yeah.
Brendan, could you zoom out some more?
Yeah. Just south where Stacy Ann Strader Park was,
Certainly is.
whatever it's called now or whatever.
Pretty sure why I know it was that long.
So all that purple is high-density mobile home R5?
That is what,
Stacy Ann's got 62 trailers in it,
Yeah.
so,
Well, that's a lot of purple.
Yeah.
Wow.
and that's 50 acres.
so this is where Stacy Ann is. This is Stump Street right here. Is it Smyrna Ready?
Smyrna Ready Mix, yep.
Smyrna Ready Mix.
Did you you say that that's only 50 acres?
Stacy Ann?
Did you, no, what did you say, something was 50 acres?
Stacy Ann.
I don't know what that is.
It's the
No,
trailer
there.
park.
It's a trailer park.
I think they've changed the name of it, but
Yeah,
that
it's
used to be.
not Stacy
it
Ann
used to be
Cedar, Cedar,
Resort Reserve or something like that, I can't remember what it is.
I can't remember something like that.
Well, how much is that whole purple area? That's gotta be a
Gosh,
couple hundred acres.
Oh, it's a ton.
There's more than that.
Mhm.
It's gotta be 200-300 acres. I mean, that's a lot.
I'd say.
Not a that's a lot of purple.
High density's high density to me. I don't know why it would matter if it's a
But it
mobile
is-
home or
Well, I think
it
the
is
idea,
differentiated on the land use plan, so if we want to recommend the R4 zone, we have to amend the plan to reflect that.
there was some notional drawings on the land use plan to try to put that R5 somewhere, and that was kind of that area, but I'm with Mr. Messick. To me, high density is high density, and high density homes are just as
Right, and I
nice
even-
or better than high density mobile homes.
I even looked into it from a perspective of, since it's, I guess we will say higher quality of a high density, even though it's a lesser than or more than, no matter how you amend the land use plan, you have to go through the process to amend the land use.
I got you, I got you.
And maybe before anybody has any other comments, and I ask any people in the audience for comments, I just want to make sure Mr. Umbarger said he was going to recuse himself for these items because he's involved in this, potentially in this property. So he's going to recuse himself from any discussion and abstain from any vote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Anybody on the board have any comments before I bring up people from the audience, or?
So just make sure I understand, which two lots are we talking about?
No,
No, okay, sorry.
Next map,
that
This
one.
one,
and the next one down.
and the next one, okay.
Okay.
I may have clicked on the
Could you
wrong
back up so we can see it just a little bit better, just see how that fits in the overall scheme of things?
one. So these two, so this ends up being adjacent to Smyrna Ready Mix.
Gotcha. So that one, okay, gotcha.
This ends up being, both of which are adjacent to Old Tullahoma Highway.
Mm-hmm.
They're vacant. This property is privately owned, obviously, but it doesn't include that parcel.
Oh, that used to be the racetrack, the
Yeah.
go-kart racetrack.
And so when we're discussing this, would now be the time to change all this area to high density, or, since this is a public hearing,
Or we're gonna be.
we could just, we're gonna do this for every lot that we go through, I guess?
So I think we've kind of done it either or. So like with the Woodbury Highway one on Interstate Drive, that one was for that property and the parcel next to it. This one on the agenda, we specified the two addresses for the two parcels.
So we
I
can't
think-
really change that
I
whole
think this
area.
amendment would be.
Yeah, just for the two
particular
lots.
to the parcels.
And those are right up across Old Tullahoma Highway, and then go north right there.
So this is
Are
Bartlett
those,
Drive.
Yeah.
yeah, those are townhomes or
Yeah, yeah.
apartments or whatever there too, I think,
And
okay.
then the land use plan designates all of this as high-density residential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's out of the
It's
vicinity.
across the street, basically, touching.
Yep.
So,
And
board,
there's
are you,
duplexes down the road, and
Yeah.
are
leave
you
your
saying
comments
that,
too.
like, we should maybe elect to change more than just a couple?
I don't think we can.
Not at this meeting.
Not at this
In the
meeting.
future, we absolutely
We
could.
can rethink it if we want to. I'd kind of hate to change this
No,
two at a time.
But that's where I was
Yeah,
getting. It's
right.
like if it makes, we're gonna have a couple little parcels sitting up that are pink or purple or whatever you wanna call it, that are gonna, like, it's like that yellow one up there. Like, he's completely surrounded by purple.
We could say at the next meeting or whenever, have a meeting and make an agenda item, say that, hey, we're gonna turn this all into R4 and make that a
Or
pub.
partial of it or whatever.
Or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And make sure there's a public hearing for that, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we want to do it, but we can't do it tonight.
I got you, okay,
They can't do it.
I got you.
not on the agenda.
That's right. So first, let me see, Mr. Massengill, so you, okay, you want to stand up real quick, you just want to,
We didn't deny that.
James Massendale.
hey, Ward,
What we want to do is do two-bedroom, two-bath apartments
Uh-huh.
on the property.
No, it's great. Absolutely.
Our biggest concern though is sewer. You know, we've got city water's in front and the sewer's right down the street. So that's, If we can't get city sewer, then we don't want it in there,
I got you, I got you.
because there wouldn't be no use for us.
You'll
I got
probably
you.
have to take city sewer down there too.
Yeah, that'd be no problem.
Yeah.
We can run the sewer down there, that's no problem.
And also, in the plans of service now, I mean, Director Perry, he does note that it's above 2 chronic manholes, and it could be a couple years before sewer will be available.
It's not even putting a pumping station in.
No, I mean, you have to go through 2 chronic manholes to get to the
station.
facility. So, I mean, until those 2 chronic manholes are relieved, you probably would not get sewer.
There's no use on it right now, they're both vacant, those properties.
Yeah,
are
they're
both
vacant.
Yeah, there's like an accessory structure type there, but it's not in
They
any
look so
form.
much better than they did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I drive by there all the time, sure.
Well, it's in the county, so they could be accepted, I mean, if there was a use there.
So is it in the county?
Yes,
It's
county.
It is.
Just by
If you
Roxbury.
go right past Stacy Ann, there is a subdivision that's in the city, right on the other side.
Right there.
And then it goes
Why
back
do we
to
have to discuss that at Beaumont? If it's in the county, why do we have? to
Because they're
discuss-
gonna annex, that's gonna be annexed.
Oh, I got you.
We want to annex it to get city sewer.
Y'all are a step ahead of me. That's not unusual.
Didn't that subdivision put in like a big pump in the back?
Yes, so they are, I think it's gravity to the pump station, and the pump station pumps it all the way back to
Right.
Old Tullahoma Highway.
I'm sure I'm glad you got that little thing there we can look at. That's
Right
nice.
there.
Oh, you guys don't like it?
Mm,
So,
That'll be right
There you go.
Stuff right.
Pumping station's all the way
Yeah,
at the
that's the
end.
subdivision that's in the
That's a new
city.
subdivision.
yeah, so this is Jacoby Estates, Amelia Drive, there's a pump station back here, comes all the way back to Force Main.
Yes.
So there's Force Main this way, and if they go this way, it's gravity.
So at this time, you put your standard statement in there, whatever, right? But you're gonna annex it, and it may be several years before you get access to sewer, so if you're paying city taxes,
So I may, if, how y'all vote on it this meeting, the next meeting, we're still not able to work something out, I may just drop it.
Yeah, and of course, that part would come up once somebody presented a plat or
Yeah.
a construction plans, right?
But once it's annexed, it's annexed. I mean, we could go through a de-annexation process if you end up waiting longer than you want for sewer. But I mean, it's been stated in our plan of service that you're not gonna get sewer for upwards of 2 years. So I mean, I'll leave that at your discretion if you want to defer or withdraw or.
Withdraw by,
I mean, you could withdraw tonight, or you could withdraw at the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, depending on how we send it with the recommendation.
wait till then and,
If you withdraw tonight, you can always come back without having to pay that $200, right?
I think if he withdraws, he would have to repay. If he deferred.
If you defer,
he
that's
would
what,
not.
yeah.
wait till the next meeting, or you said board and mayor,
I mean, you're, the
that's the one
the
I
plan of
can,
service is only good for a little while. I mean, we can't hold to it forever. But we would update plans of service depending on how long you want to defer.
just till the next meeting,
Just till the next meeting?
or the next, board and mayor.
You won't go to the board, mayor, and alderman until you come through here.
Correct.
You've got to come through here first.
Okay,
And then you go to the board, and then that's where they tell you no.
I'll defer
So,
to
yeah.
the next meeting,
You would like to defer the annexation?
to the first, to the next meeting,
Of this meeting.
This group.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay?
Can I do
So that really would be all,
So with that,
Mhm.
do we want to amend the land use plan? Because the land use plan amendment, public hearing has to be advertised 30 days before our meeting.
And you paid for that already.
And I did that already. So if you all want to go ahead and do the land use amendment, we could do that. And that will not annex his property or guarantee sewer or anything. It'll just simply change the color on the map for the most part, to very simply put it. And then he could defer items 5 and 6.
Yeah, while you think
that
about
what
it,
I'm-
while you think about whatever.
Yeah.
But if you approve, I just give my mind straight, that takes a lot, okay?
I know.
But if you, okay.
She didn't have to be so agreeable, did she?
That was quick, too, wasn't it? That was quick.
So
Pretty fast.
if you pass the land use plan tonight, does it have to go to the board?
Yes, I mean,
Land use plan.
ultimately, for it to be amended, it has to go before the board. But like I said, that can happen without the annexation or extension service.
And you haven't
It's a
advertised it for
separate,
the
it's
board
an item all
yet,
by
yeah.
itself.
Well, so with that question, with him being still in the county at this point, what's the zone considered in the
that's-
county?
So we're not rezoning it. The land use
Yeah.
plan is not a zone. It is
It
just,
just brings in land.
no, it
No,
doesn't bring in.
no.
land.
It
Just
changes
shows
our
what it
vision.
could
Yeah,
be.
it's
Oh,
just a-
yeah,
It
land use
changes the
plan.
land use
Right.
plan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, it's not rezoning it, or it'll still remain the same zone.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
But if we don't vote on that, then next meeting you could put that whole area in there.
Well, she's got to advertise any,
Advertise
for
for
30 days.
30 days.
Because the agenda item states the specific addresses, we would only be doing those two.
So I think what Ms. Swan was asking was, if we just didn't do that now and we wanted to do a bigger swath,
Yeah, that's fine too.
we could, but that's got to be a 30-day advertisement. So the question is, could you, might not be able to get it in October, it might have to be November. Depends on when it can get published in the paper.
For the,
September 15th, October 15th, it'd be close.
it'll be 27 days.
Yeah, it'd be close.
It's just, that area's really close to what we had a couple of months ago for, I think it was David Lowe. You know, just right down the street, he brought some
Street.
stuff in, and it was zoned wrong. It was the land use.
Industrial. yeah.
So that was already in the city limits.
Yeah, it
It was
was,
on
but-
Ingram Street. Where did I go? It was here. So the land use plan shows it as high-density residential, but it was actually zoned industrial, and that has been rezoned. My map's just not been updated. So, yeah.
So that whole side of town needs to be looked at for different reasons.
So we're changing the land use plan on a piece of land that we don't own. It's
So,
not in
so the
our-
newest land use plan that we have incorporated the urban growth boundary for, specifically for annexations, because we've had such an influx of annexations. When we created the land use plan, we decided to plan for the urban growth boundary to help guide us on those zonings for those annexed properties. So that's why we're seeing the colors within the urban growth boundary on the land use plan, but it's actually county property. The land use plan is for the city limits and the urban growth boundary.
Yep. You're right.
Right.
Tracking us to do that.
So,
Are you tracking?
I'm tracking. It's a little wobbly,
Would you
but I'm
want us
tracking.
to go forward with that vote tonight on your property?
You talking about, to have like the first reading on it?
Well, we're talking about on the land use plan, changing it from showing it on there as R5 to showing it on there as R4. Instead of high-density mobile home, it would be a high-density residential.
Yeah.
You
Won't
want us to
cost
move
you
forward?
Be
Okay.
fine.
Mhm. All right, so not to put you on the spot there, Ms. Swan, was that a,
I'll make the motion that we
okay?
approve.
If I'm gonna put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think it's smart to do that.
And then maybe for November, Brittany, we see about looking at some more areas on that, so.
I'd say,
But we need to say now, but since this is a public hearing and we do have a motion and a second before we vote on that, I am gonna see if there's any comments in the audience on this item.
Yes.
Okay.
I just need to make sure that I'm not
So,
misunderstanding
ma'am,
anything.
yeah, just stand up, tell us your name
Sheila
and where you
Presley.
live. Sheila Presley?
Yes,
Okay.
I own 8.27 acres down Stump Street, and I own 2 more 50-foot lots. But I just need to make sure that Mr. Massengale's 3 lots. None of that. Where I'm getting at this at is a month ago I come home and I've got pink flags in my backyard on 8 of my acres. And I've got in the backside, there's more, like 2 weeks ago. It was last week, was it? Now I've got pink flags trying to take 50 foot of my land and 30 foot in the back. So I'm having to get mine resurveyed. So I just need to know that this is not interfering with my 8 acres in the back.
Where are you?
She's at the
Yes,
end
that's
of
what I want to make sure, because I'm just making sure that this has got nothing to do with mine, because I just come home, so I'm
We
having to
just
get
don't
mine.
want hers rezoned, I mean,
No, it's
we're
not
happy
gonna
where we're
affect.
at. I'm at 480 Stump Street, I'm on the dead end,
They've done his like that too,
and
so
I'm in the same
What
way.
was your name?
Thurman Grant.
he's right beside it.
Yeah,
It's
so,
no, I'm not trying to cause a problem for us or him, as long as mine's not been in the zone.
We just want our land,
Well,
and
so
we're trying to
this-
make sure that this is not
So
interfering
none
with
of-
ours at all.
None of these items would affect your parcels at
Okay.
all.
That's
The-
all.
The annexation request.
That's all, because
and-
we gotta try to figure out who put these pink
Well,
flags up all over our
Last time we
yard.
come up a vote for that street to be annexed in.
Yeah.
The mayor of Manchester back then said he would break the tie, but he would not go for having it annexed because they could not give us the services down there for like 20 years.
Okay, so, the city cannot annex property willy-nilly as we please.
you have to request
It's owner requested,
That's
so
all,
we will
'cause I
not be
just-
doing that.
And the only reason I'm saying is because, like I said, last month, I've got a survey stop sticking up in my backyard 50 foot over on my land. And then like last week, I come home and there's like 5 or 6 pink taken on the 30 foot on the backside. So now I'm in the, I ain't got a surveyor tool, but first of
So who owns the
October.
property back there behind her or wherever near her?
And then now they're moving on to
And Mr. Massengale, we know each other,
Yeah.
and so I just want to make sure that I come home from work and I see this
Oh,
sign up saying that it's going to be annexed. I'm
Tommy's
like,
daughter
who put all
got
these
it.
pink flags up?
I
Tommy
totally
passed
agree.
away.
So we'll let you all address that.
Yes, because we just don't want to lose our land, that's the only thing
We just
That's
making
what
sure
we
that went where the pink flags were coming
Yes,
from.
it was
I
confusing,
hate
so
to
I,
resurvey, but I
I
will
wanna-
pay to have survey.
I just wanted to make sure I did not misunderstand anything.
Absolutely.
I've lived there for 40
Yeah.
plus years, so
Yeah.
I know where my land
Mr.
is.
Tommy, he lived
I guess
over
they
here
were
on the
redoing
side of me, and he bought all the land around there, I reckon, next to where I'm at. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so that was your only comment?
Yes,
So
yes,
I
just
don't
want to make
think
sure
that-
it
I don't
is.
think that they-
Any sticks in the ground.
It's not shown.
Yeah, well, you can without being asked. But I'm gonna jump back,
Yeah, it does.
if we've got everything, I'm
Yes,
so
yes.
instead of having a back and forth, I'm gonna try to bring everything back under order here real quick. Were there any other comments in the audience on this item? Okay, so we've got a motion and a second to amend the land use plan for those 2 addresses from R5 to, or actually really be from high-density mobile home to high-density residential on the land use map. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right. And then, Mr. Massengale, you've electing to defer items 5 and 6 to the next meeting, correct? So we'll bypass those. And so there'll be no public hearing on the acceptance of plan of services for that. Of course, again, that doesn't affect your property, but anyway. And then nothing on the annexation tonight. So that brings us to item 7 on the agenda, which is a rezoning request on Oakdale Street, map 86, parcel 20 for Curl Properties LLC from RS1 in the UGB to R4. So, help me, Brittany, was this something that had already been annexed? I'm trying to see when you say rezoning, if it's a...
So with an annexation, we sent it to the Board of Mayor and Alderman with a positive recommendation. When you send that to the board, it goes before the board in the form of a resolution for the plans of service, a resolution for the annexation, and an ordinance for the zoning. The Board of Mayor and Alderman passed the plan of service resolution, and they passed the annexation resolution. So the property is annexed. It is city limits property. They failed the zoning ordinance. So it is annexed city property with no zone. So I placed it back on the planning commission agenda in an effort to keep the train rolling and get this property zoned.
Didn't we have this happen not last month? Or-
Yes, we have had this happen before. At that point, I had actually asked the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to send it back to us, and they did do that. I did not do that at this last meeting, but I learned that I can just put it on the agenda if I want. So I did, and I would like you all to look at the land use plan again and determine if R4 is the right fit for this property as it states on the land use plan. Our land use plan designates that area, that parcel, and a lot of that area in general as high-density residential. This planning commission adopted the land use plan, so we are in a sense bound by that. And the Board of Mayor and Aldermen adopted the land use plan, so they are also in a sense bound by that. Obviously, we can amend the land use plan as we see fit. If you all choose to do that, that would have to be done at another meeting.
But the land use plan currently shows it as high-density residential surrounded by high-density mobile home.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, so it kind of goes along with some other high-density residential, and then there is high-density mobile home around it, as we were just talking about. There's high-density use in the area, for sure. There's a trailer park here, there's townhomes here, there's townhomes here. And then there's also single-family dwellings with some larger lots in the area as well.
What was the rationale of the Board of Mayor, I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson, what was the rationale of the Board of Mayor and Alderman for not zoning? I mean, I guess I'm trying to understand how the board annexes property without zoning it.
Don't look at me, I don't know the rationale, okay?
So one alderman did not vote, he abstained from his vote, and aside from that, it was pretty well split. Help me
32
remember.
and 1 abstain.
Yeah.
Parsley and Anderson voted no, and 3 abstained. Everybody else voted yes.
So I don't see how they can annex property without actually calling it what it is.
Yeah, well,
That doesn't make any sense to me.
First Tuesday of every
Well, it doesn't
month,
make
come
sense to
out,
me
I'll
either,
show you.
but.
I don't mean that as a sarcastic.
No, I understand, but I
way.
just understand,
It doesn't make sense to
yeah, I
me.
don't know how, if you annex something, I assume that you have to decide what it is when you
think.
annex it.
Yeah, if you
And I would
can't, if you
think that would
don't,
be written down somewhere. You don't annex something unless you tell everybody what it is.
Yep. We faced this twice in the last 3 months or 4
Yeah.
months.
Well, it has to be annexed before we can zone it, so that's why the annexation resolutions come before the
Get a good
zoning
lawyer.
ordinances.
so let me ask you, just to try to straighten this out and get it passed. R3 and R4 are the same size lots?
No,
What's the difference in them? 75 foot on,
so, let me speak. An R3, which is considered medium density residential, if we ask them to do that, that would require a land use plan amendment. But an R3 minimum lot size is 7,500 square feet. Width is 75 foot. An R4 minimum lot size is 5,000 square feet with a 50-foot lot width.
setbacks on R3?
Setbacks on R3 is 25 on the front, 10 on the side, and 15 on the rear. Setback for an R4 is 20 on the front, 5 on the side, and 15 on the rear.
So we get, instead of getting 5 single-family lots per acre, they're gonna get 4.
So here's what you gotta get. If you're gonna go back with the recommendation of R4, you're gonna get it back. It ain't passing with R4, it just ain't passing, okay? It might pass with R3.
but I think,
Amend the land use.
yeah, because I think
That's
to
okay.
Brittany's
You gotta
point,
do what you gotta do. You
We're
have
gonna
to
be in
amend
this
the
area
land use.
anyway.
but then you're talking about changing the land use plan now to put medium density in the middle of high density.
Doesn't make any sense. I understand. Doesn't make a lick of sense. I'm with you. I'm just trying to get it passed.
Sorry.
So,
So in an R3, you can get a special exception for multifamily. If that's what.
R4 you don't, right.
R4, you're just automatically approved to have multifamily should you want it. R3, if you get a special exception for multifamily, it's 6,000 square foot per family. R4, half that, 3,000 square foot per family.
I'm just throwing that out there, okay? I'm not telling y'all how to vote, I'm just,
So, it's not all in, it doesn't make a difference to
Has
me.
there been any discussion with the property owner?
That was my next question.
I don't
Thank you.
know, yeah.
Mhm.
And what do they want to do?
Do you want to let Ms. Montez talk?
Well, yeah, okay. Is someone here? Yes, come on.
I can probably speak to a little bit as to why it didn't pass.
Okay, well, if you want to tell us your name, I remember when you were here once before on something, so yes.
My name is Amanda Montez, and I actually live right here in front of this property. I also own this over here, the side of this property. I don't know why that's zoned that way, because my land has the road frontage to Kingsley Lane as well.
Done had it, didn't we get it last time?
yeah.
Some of the, just recapping, some of the concerns is the entryway into this property, and there are pictures in the PowerPoint that you can take a look at and see. But I'll just have to go through this. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I come before you to respectfully but firmly oppose the proposed rezoning of the subject property to R4 for high-density residential development. While I continue to oppose the proposed rezoning of this property to R4, I want to emphasize that this is not a call to halt development altogether. Growth is essential to Manchester's future, but it must be growth that respects the scale, infrastructure, and character of the surrounding community. That's why I believe a compromise is not only reasonable but necessary. It's worth noting that this exact R4 rezoning proposal has already failed twice before the board of mayor and aldermen, first in September of 2022, and again as recently as September 2nd of 2025. These repeated denials reflect a clear and consistent message. High-density development in this location has been incompatible with the city's current infrastructure and planning standards. The current proposal would introduce the high-density residential development into an area that lacks the urban services and capacity to support it. As outlined in Title 14 of the Municipal Code, zoning regulations are designed to promote economic development while also safeguarding the safety, stability, and property values of existing residents. R4 zoning this location would tip that balance too far, placing undue strain on roads, utilities, schools, and emergency services. First, consider the public safety hazards. This property has only one entrance and one exit, creating a dangerous bottleneck for residents and emergency responders alike. We're talking about an estimated potentially 182 units, roughly 410 people who would rely on that single point of access. Second, traffic and pedestrian safety would suffer dramatically. Westwood Elementary and Middle School sit just a short walk away. Increased traffic on Oakdale Street where there are no sidewalks would put our children at risk every morning and afternoon. Third, emergency services access is inadequate for high density. The narrow roadways on and around the site would slow down fire trucks, ambulances, and police vehicles when every second counts. This is not a hypothetical concern. It's a quantifiable threat to public safety. However, rezoning the property to a lower density zone would offer a more measurable path forward. For example, R2 zoning allows low-density residential development, providing opportunities for growth and housing diversity without overwhelming the neighborhood or compromising public safety. It would also better align with the existing character of the area and expectations of long-term residents. To be clear, this is not about denying progress. It's about shaping it wisely. A shift to R2 would demonstrate that the Planning Commission is committed to thoughtful, community-conscious planning that honors both the rights of the property owners and the needs of the broader public. I respectfully urge the Commission to reject the R4 proposal and instead consider other zoning possibilities such as R2 as a balanced rezoning.
So would you be happy with R2?
I'd be happy with R2.
Would you be happy with R3?
The problem with R3 is they're still going to get multifamily back there.
So would you let us zone yours R2?
Where's the zoning now? What's the zone?
Yeah.
So, currently has no zoning.
No, I know that property does it, but the others around it.
I'm county.
She doesn't.
Still
Still in the
she's on
county,
fire.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, still in the county,
And
okay.
that's something that I said at the meeting the other night.
Okay.
I don't plan on going R4 or being annexed anytime soon. That land's gonna stay there until.
Maybe.
She's not
I
the
mean, who
UGB.
knows? You know?
She is UGB.
Do you
I
have
have
a-
the
Yeah.
UGB land.
Do you have a
in my
city
mom.
boundary
Oh, okay.
layer on there?
Do I have a what?
A city boundary layer?
Right
Okay,
there.
So the hatched area is UGB, but the,
Except it doesn't show now the
This-
annexation of this property because it
Yeah.
has been annexed,
this
so,
property is, this is the property that is city property with no zone. This color is R4, this is county.
yeah.
This was the property too that we didn't have clear direction on the water. Is that right? When that was presented?
Yeah, it's in there. The city had mentioned that there's concern directly downstream of this property.
Right. And so the owner knew that. He's very well aware of all of the moratorium issues, and he chose to move forward with the annexation. So just like the other annexation, it would be upwards of 2 years before development could occur, if I had to guess.
So you mentioned the R3 and R4. What's the R2?
R2 minimum lot size is 10,000 square foot.
So it's not gonna pass R2. R2 won't ever pass the board. R3 will pass, I think. R4, not gonna pass. Just good compromise right here for everybody is to be happy with R3. Because you're hurting the developer. You're cutting down the number of houses you can build. That's a good compromise. Nobody's happy. That's what makes a good compromise. Okay?
Personally, I think the developer could still make money on an R2.
It's not about making money, okay? It's not about making money. I mean,
That's not our concern
that's
anymore.
right, yeah.
That's not our concern at
Yeah.
this point,
And
whatever.
my concern is public safety. You can see in the pictures, I have to take my kids to school every day, and that's what we pass every day. And if we put a lot of people back there, especially, if we're putting apartments, townhomes, things like those, kids are gonna be walking to school. They are. Their parents are gonna work. The kids are gonna be walking to school.
Where's the sidewalk on that road? Isn't the sidewalk built
Yep,
all the
it's
way down
going.
through there?
It
Yep.
is, it's going from, along Oakdale from, I think it's Freedom Drive, right there beside Public Works, down to the school.
So it starts right here. Right? Wait, no.
So right past the Oakdale Trailer Park.
It's going to it, not past it, but to it.
So
It's going
this
to the trailer
compromise
park.
has nothing to do with this planning
Okay.
commission.
Really, it doesn't.
That's a
but
side
unless
deal.
we're gonna keep this up, it's just, and there's no need of it.
So the owner of the property has asked for R4, is that correct?
Yeah.
Till he changes his request, there's nothing this group can do.
And our map shows it as high density.
Yeah.
Now, of course, as we've seen once tonight already, just because something is zoned R4 doesn't mean it's developed with that highest density
Sure.
of R4. The other thing I guess I think about a little bit is and I know it gets a little confusing sometimes with people on the zoning, rezoning, that this is technically, as far as the city goes, is not a rezoning, because it's just a zoning.
The initial zoning.
It's an initial zoning by the city because it's just been annexed. It may be different from what the county had it zoned, but it's not a rezoning where the city takes something that's zoned R1 and rezones it to R3 or to C1 or any other type of a zone. So I guess my thought, and Brittany, tell me about this, and to Mr. Messick, I guess is this board, since we've got it as high-density residential on our land use map, which we've already passed, if this board sends it with that recommendation, why doesn't, if the board of mayor and alderman wants to make, they're the only ones that can rezone property. This board can't rezone property. I want to make sure that's clear. Only the board of mayor and alderman can. Why doesn't the board of mayor and alderman have that, why didn't they have that discussion in their meeting and just zone it R3? Because the board of mayor and alderman isn't bound by our recommendation, right?
No, but they are bound by the land use plan.
Right, so they would have to amend the land use plan too, but
Can we defer this?
Yeah.
it doesn't have to come here before it goes back to the board of mayor and alderman?
Yes. I
So-
mean, if we defer it, I can't take it.
So we just have to confirm what we told them last time.
Like, right,
That's what we've done in the past.
Yeah. I mean, there's not been any additional information submitted that makes us change our mind, I don't think. And so they brought it back to us, and we'll go back to them based on the same logic we did before.
They didn't bring it back to us, okay? I don't even know if they know it. Do they know it?
They're going to.
But they don't know about it now. They didn't know about it before tonight. So you can't say that they did anything because they didn't know anything was happening.
Did they send it back to us?
No,
No, I put it on the agenda.
Oh,
Just
okay.
didn't do anything.
But they didn't,
Yeah.
they didn't zone
An
it.
amendment request.
They
As
didn't?
an effort
Limbo
to
here.
keep the
No, I got
process
you.
going, I placed it on.
I think it's a good thing. I think I make a motion to keep this as an R4.
Okay, is there a second?
Not to keep it as an R4.
Well,
To make
to
it
make it
an
an
R4.
R4.
Just
Use
Yeah.
it to follow the
Positive recommendation.
Follow
Consistent with
the
the
land
land
use
use map.
Right. To make the recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen that it's brought in with an R4 zone.
That's the motion I want to make.
Right. That's what I thought. So we need a second.
I guess this group wants to be like the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, not make decisions.
I just wish we could look at the land use map before making, it looks like there's just a lot of problem areas in this section of town before making a decision on that.
Well, I second it, because that's what the owner asked for.
Yeah. And there's no reason why we would change that.
Everything in that area of the land use map shows high-density residential, either mobile home or regular home.
Yeah.
But is that what's really there?
No.
It says land use high density, but what's really there? Did it take into account what's existing?
In that piece of property?
Anywhere.
I guess a
I mean,
lot of it
anywhere.
is,
Yes, it does. Well, it
If you come
does.
to the
It
up-
does?
If you
There's,
come
well, there's
back up-
trailers right up
a
there.
lot of it's.
I'm
Mobile
saying,
homes right
saying,
there.
I'm just saying,
Trailer
high
park
density.
here, There's townhomes here, there's townhomes here, there's.
there's high density all around it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
5 single-family dwellings per acre? I doubt it.
High
No,
density.
there's a picture of
I
my
doubt
house
it.
that
I
sits
don't know
right
how
in front
many
of
are
it.
per
I
acre,
doubt
but I
it.
do know that it's high density. You
I
can look at the
doubt
map
it's
and
not
see.
high density.
Well,
You're saying that it's not high density?
Not around there, no way.
I'm pretty sure it is along the old Tillum Highway there. There's some houses and there's apartments right behind.
So there's a strip there,
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, but this is way off the highway.
No, I know, but I was just saying.
To me, that looks
There
like
is
a lot
high
of vacant
density.
land around there.
It's a
Yeah,
dead end.
I have 9 acres that surround it.
well, let me ask before we continue discussion, since we do have a motion and a second, is there anyone else in the audience that was here to speak to this item?
I can testify. Sheila Bristol here again. You
Mhm.
did speak that there is a lot of children in that area. I work at Manchester Head Start, and I see children almost getting run over every day, going from that trailer park to Westwood. I've had to stop, I've had to pull over, the buses had to get in the middle of the road, so there does need, that needs to be taken into consideration, because there is a lot of children that walk to that Westwood school every single day. I've seen it, I've helped kids. And I work at the Manchester Head Start, which is right down beside that trailer park, and those children and they're little bitty kids. It's not no 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. These are 5, 6, 7-year-old kids. No parents or nothing with them, and I'm not saying that because, they've got jobs and everything to get to too. But these
Mhm.
children walk backwards and forwards daily.
And part of the responsibility of the developer would bring roads and things up to what they need to be.
Yes.
So the roads that are in the pictures today wouldn't be there if he developed it. I'm just saying, right, it's gonna be widened, it should be passable for everybody to get in and out, okay? But part of what we're doing in here today is not looking into the future on what's gonna be built there and how many's gonna be built there. They asked us to annex it, the board passed it, he's asking for a zoning, and we have to give something to him. Now, if he wants to change it and come back if it fails again, that's really up to him, okay? I think, we already established it's gonna be years before he can build because we don't have the infrastructure with sewer to develop that area. And I don't know what's gonna happen by that time, but I do appreciate the comment, but the roads and things would have to be wider for this development to ever be done. So a lot of that is way out in the future. I think we just.
We're thinking ahead a little bit.
If we weren't willing to give him a zone. That's my only deal with it, right?
And really, a lot of the items that I'm hearing to the mayor's point, we're not presented with any actual development ideas. Somebody could buy it, this person could sell it, and somebody could buy it and put a single-family home on it and live there for 50 years. If somebody intended to develop it, at that point, they would have to bring back to this board, a preliminary plat, site plan, construction plans, all those types of things that we could require various things to do. So,
Well, the only thing I would say, if there's a current safety hazard with children walking down that street, that has nothing to do with this property, and the Board of Mayor and Alderman need to take action on it. If there is a current safety hazard. Independent of the annexation, independent of the zoning, sounds like we have an issue. That's not part of the planning commission's responsibility. Board of Mayor and Alderman need to pick that up and do something with it.
mhm.
And trust me, we're working on some sidewalks, we're working on different strategies, we're talking about buses. I mean, we do not know what the future holds right now, okay? There's lots of conversations, right? If we build another school, if you build onto a school, we're talking about bus systems within the city. We know we have a problem, I promise. And we are trying to work on it, okay? But this piece of property that is vacant will not change anything for the next long period of time on making it better or worse.
Okay. Thank you for that, Mayor. Any other discussion from the board? We have a motion and a second to send it to the Board of Mayor and Alderman with a positive recommendation for R4 as originally presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hey,
That'd be me too.
So we got 3 and 3. All right, chair votes
1, 2,
aye.
3, 4. Right. You're opposed.
I said no.
Mayor was in favor, Mr. Umbarger was in favor, Mr. Johnson was in favor. So it's 3 to 3. Chair will vote aye to send it with a positive recommendation to the board.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your time and for your materials. Okay, no other report from the chairman tonight. Adam, you have anything? No, sir. To report? Brittany, you have some items on here about potential metrics, is that?
So we do, and we've kind of already discussed them quite a bit
So,
tonight.
yeah, let me pick that up just a little bit. I had several discussions with Brittany, had discussions today with Aaron or whatever. Again, excuse me, Adam. Again, organizations, businesses run on metrics. They have to know what you're doing, what's going on, what your challenges are. With Brittany's department, she's got inspections. I wonder if the number of inspections are increasing. I wonder if the number of inspections are failing. Why are they failing? How many lots are available that have been pre-approved that are available for build? How many permits have been issued, or whatever the case might be? If we could have a quarter comparison, year-over-year comparison, or whatever that, we could quantify and qualify potentially this growth we think we're seeing. And also, it could help maybe sell to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen a lot of the ideas that Brittany has, or some of the charges, some of the fees that we think we need to raise or whatever. And I'm not smart enough or knowledgeable enough to know exactly what are key measures that need to be made, but dadgum, I've been in business long enough to know there are reasons, and the reasons why you measure things. It helps you guide and make decisions not based on opinion, but based on facts. And so that's what drove me to try to bring this topic up or whatever. And what I told Brittany and Adam today was that I think that Ken, being a licensed architect, participating in strategic type planning, city planning, urban planning, I'm pretty sure, would be a good person maybe to help y'all and look at some of these things. And then, of course, Mitch, being a real estate person, I think would be good to kind of give that perspective, if you would, on that. And I guess that, you can tell what you handed out here.
So just related to metrics, I don't have all of the things put together that he was talking about. I am working on I know in the past I've done like available lots in the city and things like that. I'm working on updating that. But just kind of a start for some numbers for you guys, and I want you guys to tell me what else you would like to see, because obviously I have access to a lot of things. But before you is an annexation report since 2009. And it kind of just shows the acreage and the zones. The last few annexations, I kind of left out a few things. I don't have it completely updated, but I have the important parts on there. So that's all the annexations we've had. A lot of them haven't been developed. So we need to start looking at those numbers and assessing that and things. It's just something I wanted you guys to have. I thought it was important, which not that you guys haven't seen this before. You all passed all of these annexations.
Right.
But here they are all together. And so it's kind of a.
But to have them quantified and actually be able to share that with the school system, the water department, the sewer department, or whatever. If they're coming up with their 5-year planning, they got the land use map that we put together, and then they also see what has already went through the system. And that would help them, I think, do what they need to do.
But, I mean, as you guys have seen, looking at some of these annexations and rezonings, the land use plan is, I mean, it was put together and there was thought put into it for sure. But we're coming across things where we could have put more thought into it. And, you know, the next land use plan is a little ways down the road, but we want to have stuff together to do it better next time.
Brittany, on the far right over here, water, sewer, fire, police, what are those?
So those are the.
What are those different distinctions mean?
So
When you
that's
say
kind of representing the plans of service, so like whether or not the department is currently serving the property.
you
So
mean
like,
active.
so like a vacant property, you know, no service is being provided at the time, or there's no service needed.
So like
Like a-
Jacoby Estates, when it says water complete, meaning that city water is available. Same thing with sewer, same thing. Yeah.
But like on the ones that say no service under the sewer, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't.
Right, right, it's just that nothing's been in place, there's no need for service at this time, it's a cornfield.
Yeah,
Or bean field.
more than likely, it was annexed with the understanding that until we fix our problems, you will not get service.
Right.
We were very upfront with everybody on this sheet. They still chose to have the property annexed, and that's their choice, right?
Right.
But what's impressive to me is the amount of no services over the amount of land. We're not developing a whole lot, right? It appears that we're passing a lot and bringing them into the city, but nothing's happening because we're still working on the infrastructure to make it happen.
I think that's the point, that's the quality of information that would help people understand.
100%,
Right.
right? I mean, it's a good ask, and thank you, because, I mean, this is information that they need to see. They just see us pulling in land. I mean, if you look at this,
Well,
it starts from what, 2009 to 2025. It says you've annexed 1,378 acres. Well, 618 of it.
that's what I was going to say, it's Bonnaroo, right?
There's
Right.
half.
That's right.
Right.
Now we're 760.
There's no one on that.
300.
There's no residents on that.
There's no
No
resident
sewer
on
system.
that, there's no resident
There's no
on
sewer.
Swanson. Either one of the Swanson, that's another 350 acres.
And then the 83,
It's just
that's vacant.
perception by some that they put out there, right, is we're doing this willy-nilly. No, and maybe the plan and the land use map needs updating. I'm not gonna argue that point. But we're not developing much. We're still fixing infrastructure to be able to service people. It's just not happening because we brought it into the city,
Right.
you know?
The entire county last year had 234 new homes built. The entire county, Tullahoma, Manchester, all across. the
Right.
county. So,
We keep hearing about this growth, and it looks like we're ready for the growth, but it's not here yet.
It's not
It's
here.
not coming. And partly it's because our infrastructure's not there, and partly maybe the demand is not exactly there yet.
I think most of the developers and stuff would love to build these out and sit on them. Maybe I'm wrong, but we can't let them because the city can't provide them what they need to build.
It's 3.
So they took a chance. They said, yes,
I was
we'll
doing it
pay you
from the other
taxes to
direction.
help you get there.
Okay.
And that's kind of what it is, right? I mean, anyway.
So I'm sure that we don't want to talk about this for too long tonight, but thank you for this first shot at it.
Yeah.
It would be great maybe if Mitch and Ken could find a little bit of time to sit down with you guys, and I'm sure they got ideas. You know, I was You know, I was rambling on today about a bunch of things, but I don't know exactly what's important. Not like these guys would know what was important, for sure. And so then maybe on next month or the month after next, you guys says, this is the things that we think we need to start measuring and look at.
And one thing I think would be good too is quarterly or something to discuss where the chronic manholes are on the map. That gives everybody an idea that if you have to pass through there, there's no service coming right now. Till we fix those, nothing will happen upstream of them. And look, what's really wild is it's not the outskirts, it's not the UGB, that's all new stuff. It's as you get closer to the plant. That's where all the old stuff is. And I mean, we work at this regularly, don't we? I mean, we talk about how we're gonna fix these problems, and we're doing a lot of work. There's just a lot to do. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, right? I mean, there's a lot going on with a lot of different projects, and we're upgrading a lot of things, but as you get closer to the plant, it's all of the oldest infrastructure inside the city.
Everything's feeding into it.
And it all
from
comes to
everywhere.
it, and then we have to get it through there, and there's some real challenges, and that's why all this is not being developed.
Brittany, is it easy enough to add a column that says for these various parcels or areas, how many parcels they contain? Like there's 27 housing lots. How many
Like
lots?
how many lots
How many
with
lots?
each development?
Yeah, for each of these developments, because that means people. That, you know, this right here, acres is really important. But to me, I would think if we could say it's R4s are getting 5 dwelling units per acre, or R3s are getting this, or whatever.
Absolutely.
You obviously wouldn't do it for
Or there's
commercial.
construction plans or whatever, there's plot plans for a lot of those already.
Yeah,
Right.
but you could.
You could
Yeah,
see
like
that.
I said, I have some
Yeah,
of that information, I just don't
I
have
mean,
it
I think
all
that's the
yet.
type of discussion you guys could have with Brittany. I think that would help her fill out that sheet a lot better. And maybe some other sheets on other topics, or whatever the case might be.
I would just caution, when you have two members of a board together, that it's, you know, it's,
Sunshine.
yeah, that's right, you have the sunshine law, so we can't be,
You know, they're not making decisions.
yeah, it's right, you gotta be careful, just can't debate,
You're
can't.
gathering information. This is
Can't
information
discuss, you know, you just have to be, that's why I say I just caution, just to be.
Careful what
This
you
is
go there.
very helpful.
But I like that, and seeing the lots that are approved, that are out there, that, you know, that could be built on, how many, you know, what are those out there, what are the properties, and that can't be, and I like seeing where those chronic manholes are, because I don't really remember where all of those are all the time either, so.
Well, if you hear anything.
But, yeah, but if people still keep asking to be annexed, I think it's a good thing, because what it just means is, that once that is fixed, they want to develop in the city. So they're pre-planning and wanting to do it, and they're willing to pay the taxes ahead of time, then
Impact
that's
fees.
great, right, right.
Impact fees to pay for that new infrastructure.
Yeah, there we go,
The
so,
most important thing is people ask to be annexed is that they understand the timing.
Right.
Of what it truly will be. And right now, based on which area of the city it is, it has a little difference because there's two interceptors, right, and they're not exactly the same, right? Some have more than others and some don't, so.
Brittany, what is this map of?
This is the zoning map with the land use plan turned on. I can turn it on. So our zoning map is actually on our website for public view. There probably are a few updates that need to be made to it for certain parcels.
Okay.
But it's on our website. It includes our urban growth boundary, and fun fact, it also includes Tullahoma's urban growth boundary.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the Scots office knows that, but it's on there.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, that's available for everybody's viewing. I don't think that I have the land use layer for public viewing.
Okay.
And it also has a legend.
okay?
Do you bring anything back to us, like maybe the next few months about this land use?
Yeah, we can. I mean, like I said, I want to know what you guys want to see. So like Ken said, he wants to see number of lots and units on there. And like Mark said, we kind of have to be careful on what we're talking about and what kind of, we can't really make decisions. But I just want to know what information I need to start gathering and keep updated for when we
Yeah.
are ready to
I
form.
think these two guys need to help you do that and then bring it back before the board for our discussion.
For when we are ready to form some kind of subcommittee, because I mean, there are a lot of plans and things that we need to update. You know, eventually we are going to do like a big update of the land use plan. I would love to form a subcommittee to update our subdivision regulations, but I'll probably regret it as soon as I start doing it, because it'll be really difficult. But I know it's needed. So we have a lot of different plans. The major thoroughfare plan that was done in 2018, at some point it's going to have to be updated as well. So we need to kind of pick maybe a priority, and I mean, some of those things will probably.
It
need
depends
to
on what the
be-
agenda is next time. Maybe if it's a small agenda, we can pick up one or two of those discussion topics.
Yeah.
Just start addressing those, not 10 of them at one time,
Right.
right?
Yeah, please do.
Do you have any kind of database about stuff that has been rezoned?
I mean, it's all within ordinance form.
Okay, I mean, areas that are been rezoned, I'm curious.
Probably don't have it on like a pretty data sheet like you have
Oh,
there.
no.
But I mean, that's something I could put together, you know, where have we seen the most
Well,
rezoning?
I'm curious to see how land's changing too. You know, stuff, commercial going to residential, residential going to commercial. Are we building jobs, are we just building houses, or, you know, I mean, stuff like that.
Right.
It'd be nice to look at where the sidewalks are too, because we're
So
on our.
we have a pedestrian, we have a pedestrian plan. We have one of those.
We're gonna run out of our current plans to build, so we need to build somewhere else, you know, so, and we know where it's at.
Okay.
Thank you, Brittany, I appreciate it.
Does the city have the resources and the means to fix all of our issues so we can make these happen?
Well, you know, that's a,
Do we have the manpower to get it done? Do we have the outside contractors to get it done, or whatever it takes to make this move forward?
so, you know, there's two factors to it, right? One is the sewer treatment plant needs some upgrades, piping, you know, manpower, outside contractors isn't all of the issues, it's a money issue.
Yeah.
Right? If you put $50 million in the ground, we have to pay depreciation on it, and then your rates have to go up. There's not just, hey, let's throw $100 million and go fix all our problems, because then we have to take every bit of that and start paying on it. And as a city, taxpayers and the property and sales tax does not go into that. That's why we did a rate hike, right? I mean, so to answer your question is hard. Can we get the money to do a lot of that? Yes. Is it sustainable long time without raising lots of things for people? No. So it has to kind of all fall together as one item.
Are there grants out there that we could get?
We're working on $10 million worth of grants right now. I mean, we're gonna borrow some money. We're gonna keep working at it, but it's gonna be a 3 to 5 year strategy. It can't happen in 12 to 18 months. Even if we could do it all, we can't afford to do it all. But, I mean, it's a great question, but I mean, we are building a strategy at the Water and Sewer Department for the next 3 to 5 years to where we put in $25 or so million of borrowed money. But there again, you know, we have the I-24 site coming, you know, the state wants to put money in it, and then when they give it to us, I mean, the depreciation number right now, Water and Sewer pays about $2.5 million a year in depreciation. So the more things we bring into the city, every time you develop a property and you give that to us, we have to start paying on it. So we're gonna run ourselves into a big rate increase if we're just not careful.
Mayor's doing a great job at explaining all this, but I kind of feel like we're getting out of the realm of what the plan does.
Yeah.
Other than knowing a little bit
I think
about
it's good for
the
planning
commission to
understand
know.
all that as we vote on these things, right? I mean, there again, it's all about what the citizen wants. If they want to annex their property and they want to pay the extra taxes, that's up to them. We just have to be honest from our seat and say, it's gonna be a while, just like we did with the gentleman there, right? I mean, I think it took him aback just a little bit to find out he may not get sewer for 2 years if he wants to come to the city right now. Could it be less? I don't know. I mean, we're working through tons of things right now in that department.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Brittany. What did I hear, Mitch?
Make a motion to adjourn?
I second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, hang on, don't get up.